Grand Rising family, Grand Rising, what's going on? This is Chief Kalanago, man. Listen, I know it's early, but it's never early for me, man. It's always time to drop that knowledge. It's time for you to get out of bed. It's about to be on and popping, all right? First off, I want to acknowledge the great spirit, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful, always a beautiful day, a beautiful time to be alive, okay? Live life, love life, be life, okay? Because that's what we are. That's who we are. We are life. All right. I don't believe in death, at least, what I mean, not the spiritual death. I want to acknowledge the great spirit, want to acknowledge universal all, universal intelligence, want to acknowledge my ancestors, give thanks to my ancestors, man, for just always guiding me and protecting me. And I know that in any weapons formed against me will not prosper. All right. Hold on for a second. Let me just make sure I got audio here. I got audio. All right. Know that any weapons against me will not prosper. I know that, so I'm thankful. I'm highly favored. All right. Grand Rising family. What's going on? What's going on? I hope that Facebook and YouTube are gonna jump on. I'm gonna share a video with you guys that most of you may have seen. Well, some of you may have seen. I don't know, but I know I have I have a platform with different subscribers from different people, and on Facebook as well, Facebook friends. So I'm not sure how many people have seen that, but this is all about sharing information and sharing knowledge and letting people know the truth. Now, with that being said, the video that I'm about to share with you, I do not own the rights or the sound in that video. It is strictly for educational purposes. All right, strictly for that. So, what I would like to do is, as a matter of fact, you know what? I think I want to go ahead and kind of like, if I could, I wonder if I could edit that real quick. Will not be denied. Let me just kind of like add that. Thank you. Thanks to okay. So I want to put that in there as well because I want to acknowledge. Um, Give me 1 second here, guys. I should have done that before that, but you know me. I never plan these things, right? Thanks to okay. Boom. All right. Good, good, good. Save that. And I think we're good. Now, if you guys could hear me, go ahead and do me a favor, please. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, type one in the chat. Let me just make sure we're good to go. All right. I just need a little bit of participation from the family here, real quick. Can anybody type one in the chat? And hey, bro, John, Grand Rising fan. All right, beautiful. I appreciate that. So we good. We good. We good. All right. So, like I said, a lot of you may have seen that video. So I don't know, but first off, thank you, Sister Valerie. I would like to thank what's her name? Give me 1 second. I just want to get her name. Dr. Mumbi. All right. She's a sister, an African sister. She's a doctor. All right. A very prominent YouTuber, and for a while I had seen a couple of her videos, and I mean, she has great information, what I mean? It's all about coming together, but I wasn't feeling the fact that she was just part of the propaganda. Okay. That saying that American Aborigines, we are Africans. Now, let me just get one thing straight before I even proceed. What I do, and people like myself, that teach us, about who we are and that America is our motherland. Okay. You know, um, Let me just make this very, very, very clear. My goal, at least my goal, and I'm certainly sure I could speak for others as well. All right, but I don't want to be presumptuous, so I'm going to speak for myself. Me, Chief Kalanago Flying Eagle, when I speak and teach about who we are, about our foundation, that the Americas is our motherland, and I'm giving you all this proof, it is not because I have anything against Africans. Let's get that straight. I don't have anything against Africans. I don't have anything against Asians, I don't have anything against Europeans, whether they may be, I don't care what complexion they are. Okay. The point is, we, as the original people of this land, we have been denied our identity for too long. And every time we step up, everybody think is because we hate Africa. No, I don't hate Africa. I have African friends. You see what I'm saying? That like we like brothers. You know what I'm saying? But Africa is our cousin. You know what I mean? And my thing was, I'm not going to allow anybody to make us feel bad about stepping up as who we are, to play that guilt trip. You know what I mean? I wasn't good. So when I bring that information, it's not to say we hate them. No, it was just time for people to know the truth. Okay, that all of us did not come from Africa. As a matter of fact, a lot of us did not. That whole slave ship narrative with over 12 million Africans, that's a lie. That is a lie. There's no documents of that. That is a lie. So we had to keep debunking that information. And now that it's coming, they see that we are being adamant. You know, what I mean, we are showing the proof, we are showing the facts, we're showing documents to prove that we've been here. You see what I'm saying? And furthermore, like I said, a lot of these so-called Black people that came here, they all did not come from Africa. They came from all different parts of the world, because slavery was a business all around the world. But what the colonizers did was they just took everybody that looks so-called Black, and they just dumped them in Africa. So therefore, everything else, especially in the Americas, is free for them to claim. And when I say colonizers, please keep in mind, I am not talking about just the pale man, because once again, I have to keep reiterating, the people who came here first to colonize our land, rape our women, kill our children, okay, they were not pale people. So I have to make that extremely clear. All right? So with that being said, I'm going to share that video with y'all. I'm gonna get right into it because I got a couple of Zoom meetings I got to get to, but I want to share that with you. And this video is for educational purposes only. Okay, like I said, I do not. Hold on. Like I said, I do not have the rights to any sound or in this video, so or the video period. However, I'm gonna use it and share it for educational purposes. So you guys, here you go. Let me share my screen. And she, like I said, she finally spoke the truth. And I had respect for her for what she did in the past. What she was doing, it was her channel speaking her truth. But again, like I said, my spirit didn't vibe with the fact that she was putting all of us in Africa, and she finally stepped up and spoke the truth. So much respect to her. And again, all right, my goal, or at least for me, is to let people know we have our own identity. Yes, we want to work with other carbon-based people around the world. Because when we all look at it, no matter who we are, no matter what you are, the world is our dwelling place together. Okay, so eventually, definitely want to create alliances with our cousins across the seas. All right, so that's where I'm at with that. So let me go ahead and share this with you, and let's get into this, family. Let's get into this. All right, let's get into this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
To all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways, and that you're moving into living life truly in your own narrative, on your own terms, and in your own story. Because soon, living on your own terms is going to become a luxury that only few can afford, or few are actually living. I really want to send a special shout out to my Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform and enabling us to continue to bring the relevant news to our people. Thanks to everyone that has subscribed to this channel as well. Be sure to like, beloveds, because there's some kind of onslaught going on against, Black consciousness YouTubers, if I can say that. So make sure that you like their videos and share them so that, we continue to battle those algorithms that may not be working in our favor. I really wanted to bring this topic to your attention because we've started a relocation service. Free plug. Definitely check out the links below. Where if you're seriously relocating to Africa and you need contacts, you need links, and you need that on the ground information, definitely consider joining. But one of the things I've received a lot of emails from our African American brothers and sisters. Some saying they're staying. They're not going anywhere. That is their land. And I think it's very important for us to open up the discussion that, not all African Americans came from Africa. That is one of the greatest fallacies that has happened. We were a global melanated planet, which means we were absolutely everywhere, on every land, in every country, in every continent, the countries they created. And, there's been so much that's been done because it's a mental reality, that, it's a mental world. There's so much that's been done to corrupt and rewrite the story, especially when you see the pictures of who they say the native Indians were. But, the Americas were actually it was like Africa. It was a melanated continent, beloveds. And the ones that were taken out looked like you and me. And there are some that were also brought from Africa, and they came and they looked for very specific people from the African continent. But the Americas, there's many of you, beloveds, who you are the native Indians. You are the Native Americans, and that is part of the inheritance that you have been, disenfranchised from. And I know I got a lot of people emotional when I said you shouldn't be waiting for reparations, because you shouldn't. You are custodians of the land. 40 acres and a mule just ain't gonna cut it. But it's time that we start to recognize, because you see, what they've tried to do is separate the melanated people so that we think that we existed in silos, or so that we think we're all different. But we are the original ones. All over the planet, we took on our different characteristics and personalities. The Aborigine in Australia are the original ones. They're related to I and I, beloveds. The Black people, I don't even want to call them Africans, because then, they tried to hold us into one nation. But we were a global community, beloveds. And that's why we as a melanated people need to start looking at this as it really is. It was an invasion, beloveds. And many of us aren't even ready to handle who the invasion was by, and the fact that the occupation continues, but now is the end of it. Which is why certain gods and goddesses are going to start appearing on the scene, or are already on the scene, but they're going to start making themselves known. Because the battle has been waging in earnest, beloveds. They came in peace, but they, turned into a warring, corrupt, devilish, evil people. But many African Americans, you are the Native Americans.
Well, let me pause here for a second, all right? And we have to put this in perspective, and that's where a lot of the pieces are missing. And I appreciate her for doing this. She's a very prominent YouTuber, all right, very popular on her African continent. She's a doctor, and I respect the fact that finally she came up and said that. But we have to again put that in perspective. It's not many of us. The majority of us are American Aboriginals, not just many. The majority. Okay, let me put that in context. And secondly, when they talk about they came in peace, all right, and they, all of a sudden, the devilish ways or the devilish, ideology. Let's put that in perspective again. It wasn't and I'm not making any excuses for the pale man. I know what the pale man did. The pale man just took over the game. Okay, it wasn't the pale man who came here into our land in 1492 to rape our motherland, to rape our women, to rape our children. It wasn't the pale man, okay? It was so-called Black nobles from Europe, okay? Britain, okay? The original Scottish and Irish, which was King James, Okay, the first Jacobite, he was the king he made himself king of Israel. That's where the original Israelites are from. Okay, the Moors. You see, we got to speak the truth. It's only when we speak the truth will set us free. Those were the people and their mulatto children that came here first to enslave our American Aboriginal ancestors. So let us not just say it's the pale man. No, the pale man was also a victim because the pale man was enslaved even before the American Indians were enslaved. The pale man was enslaved in many parts of the world, including Britain. So when you see things are happening, I'm not justifying what they are doing, but I'm saying they are just paying back what their parents did to them because their parents enslaved them. And a lot of times the pale man is not that the pale man don't want to let go and live in peace. The pale man is in fear. Why? The pale man is in fear because he know where he came from. And he think in his mind, okay, it is just self-preservation. In his mind, if I release and say, hey, you know what? You enslaved us. We help enslave you as well. Then we even. Let's break even. Let's start over. They are afraid in their hearts and their mind that if they do that, what's going to happen? They might go back from where they came because we are the majority globally. That's what the pale man is afraid of. So you guys have to realize what's going on. This is more than what meets the eye, family. You feel me? But I'm here to break this down and put it in perspective. It's not that the pale man don't know who we are. They know. But they also realize that our American Aboriginal ancestors helped enslave them as well. Just like Africans. We help enslave Africans as well. So you see, we need to step up on the plate and have an open discussion and allow everybody to forgive each other so that Mother Earth could finally breathe. You feel me? Release all the negativity that all the different groups, okay, or all the children of Earth are fighting each other right now. And that includes the pale man, because the pale man the pale man and the pale woman came from the womb of a carbon-based woman. Okay? They are their children. I mean, they were not created in the Americas, but they were created on the other side, from the womb of a so-called black woman. All right? Even there are oral traditions and stories, okay, where our ancestors knew exactly what would have happened if they brought the pale man into our land. And our ancestors warned, okay, they warned those so-called black nobles and told them, listen, do not bring the pale man into our land. And they still brought them. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times people don't know. I've been doing this for years, family. I still got so much information I haven't pulled out from my archives. So I'm just going to go again further. It's not many of us. The majority of us are American Aborigines. The majority. Let's just put that in perspective. Okay?
You're not even African Americans. You're not even African Americans. You're Native Americans.
All right. And we are native in the original sense. All right. Right now, we have to be very specific with the words. That's why I keep telling y'all I'm a wordsmith. Nowadays, native means just to be born, which is indigenous. Indigenous has two definitions, which I showed y'all before, and I'll show it to you again. So we have to be careful when we use these words. All right.
You're the ones that they brought blankets with, was it smallpox or whatever diseases, and wiped out entire communities.
And when she said they, that's the problem. Everybody think it's the so-called white man. No, the they is the so-called black people. Some of them even were Africans, African nobles, European nobles, Asian nobles. All right, because I'm talking about the extension of Rome. All these people were so-called black people. So we have to put that context. Let's put everything on the table and speak the truth about everything. Now, she may not know that, but I'm telling you, exactly what it was. So the they that brought the blankets were people who look just like us. Okay? They look just like us. The people who called us Indians, they look just like us. All right.
Because they said they came in peace, but they actually came in war. And they are still warring us right until this day.
There you go again. You see, they is alluding to the pale man. And I'm not defending the pale man. I have to keep it in your head. Not every skin folk is kin folk. We have to realize that. And a lot of the descendants of these people are still here, still pushing that ideology of colonization, trying to tell us who we are when we know we are not what they're telling us we are. Because they know what their forefathers did. Okay? So, putting all that again in perspective.
So there are those beloveds of you who really don't feel any connection to Mama Africa. And this is just, a confirmation, a reassurance that America belongs to you. But the reason that America is going to face the greatest, destruction is because of all the wickedness that has been done on that land.
No, well, and you know what? Guess what? Me personally, I stand with and for my ancestors, and I'm not gonna accept that as our reality. And another thing, Doctor, I and like I said, I respect her for bringing that information. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? First thing, the United States is not America. Okay? The United States is not America. We have to family, we got to educate ourselves and start correcting people. I'm not talking about her per se. I'm talking about people in general. Okay? Whomever. Anybody that's not an American Aboriginal, we have to start putting that in perspective. You are not an American. You are a United States citizen. There's a difference. And the Americas will not have a great fall or the biggest fall. Why? Because we are the most highly favored people on the planet, period. So I'm not going to accept that suggestion that America is going to be the biggest fall. No, it's not. Okay? We are a highly favored people. We gave the world soul. Okay? Our drums beat differently. You feel what I'm saying? The American land is the most fertile land on the planet. Okay? The American land was the first one that came up after the great flood. So a lot of people still have a lot of research to do. But trust me, I've done it. So we're not leaving our land for nobody. Okay? Everything will crumble before the American continent disappear. I promise you that. Everything that's not organic will crumble, but we ain't going nowhere. You feel me? So I do not accept that as our reality. So I just wanted to put that in perspective because words have power. You feel me? And the most evil wasn't done in America per se. Slavery was all over the world. You feel me? Slavery was all over the world.
To dominate it, because from that land they were able to dominate the world. And there are so many stories and narratives out there, beloveds. So many. And many have not been written by us. And the only story right now that I trust is the one that I go into meditation and my spirits, my higher self, my spirit guides, my ancestors, and the spirits of the land reveal to me. Because we cannot rely on what we are being told by Babylon. And so if the land belongs to you, beloveds, if you are originally from that place, that gives you so much authority to do certain things and to turn certain things, around. Because if the land recognizes you as the native ones, then it will protect you during the destruction that is literally upon us. But these are the, let me take a short break, and then when I come back, I'll give you some of the tips you can do in order, and this can be for wherever you are. If you know that you are a rightful ruler on their land, there's certain things that you can do to speak to the land, and you have that authority, and that can actually shift many, many things. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
All right. So yes, there are a lot of things, rituals that we could do, because again, what a lot of people don't realize is this. All right. Every month or every 3 months, there was a council that was put in place to do rituals so that the original American Aborigines would not get up or wake up from the coma that they're in. A lot of people don't realize how deep this is. Okay. All the things they put in place, the religion, the education, those are things to put you in a coma state. All right. We didn't serve these people's gods. Anytime you serve somebody's God, then you become a slave to their God. So I tell people, take your emotions out of all that and go back to who or what did our ancestors acknowledge before 1492. Our ancestors saw God in everything. Everything was God. Okay, there was a God for the water. There was a sun God. There were trees that we acknowledge as God. Does that mean we were pagans? No. It just means that we knew the truth. We knew our truth. So how is that we existed in the Americas from time immemorial? And we gave the world civilization. And that's a fact. So how is that we didn't know what God is? You see what I'm saying? So we have to be afraid not to be afraid of letting go and embracing ourselves as who we are and identify our spiritual systems. And it's quite simple. It's not complicated. Just know that you are a God and everything is God. Live and let live. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Family is not complicated. Where is heaven? Heaven is within you. God is not a he. God is not a she. You see, all these things we have to get away from. Everybody, I want to thank him. I want to thank him. Who is him? What happened to the her? You see, the indoctrination is real. It's real, family. It's real. Okay. And again, that's just the passion in me talking, man. I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I'm just passionate about what I bring. That's all. And once again, I want to thank, Dr. Mumbi, for finally speaking the truth on that. All right. And I know she might get a lot of backlash, but she's finally speaking the truth. All right. Let's do this.
Wake up, 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 wake up.
In December 2008, legendary investor Whitney Tilson explained to 60 Minutes.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? It's really, really important for us to realize that this was not, melanated people, I'm even getting confused how to say it. Melanated people were not only on the continent of Africa, and Africa wasn't even called Africa. There's a lot of different arguments about whether it was named after a general called Africanus, or there's many different theories. But Africa, it was actually Ethiopia, it was Kemet, the land of the black people, but it was the continent, not just the continent, sorry, the world. This was a plane of melanated people on this solar planet, beloveds. We were everywhere.
We were everywhere.
But part of the imprisoning
of our consciousness
has come from
making us feel like we were only in some parts, and Europe belonged to the Mzungus, and Asia belonged to the Asians, and Africa belonged to the Africans, and Australia, the Aborigines, but then there were the Mzungus have claimed it. So there's a lot of confusion, but what it has been is a global invasion.
We were everywhere, and so there are
we were everywhere, and so there are those African American brothers and sisters. I'm sorry, I keep calling you African American. Native American, who just know they feel such a connection to that land.
And if you feel this,
and there's a lot of research that you can do. There's a lot of research that you can do. If you want me to get deeper into this, leave it in the comments below. That's not really what I was covering to come and give you a history lesson, but I just wanted this to be a confirmation to many who have known this for a long time. And it's something that I've known for a long time as well.
But what happened is that there were Africans brought from West Africa and taken to the Caribbean, taken to
Latin America and taken to the divided states.
But
absolutely,
there were fellow black
melanated people already there.
But they created this narrative.
Like everyone was a slave, and that's how they were able to disenfranchise
the few that weren't taken out in the
invasion, and kind of box them up.
And you see, here's another thing a lot of people don't talk about, which I've taught in lessons. Okay, the colony of Liberia. Okay, we have Syria, we have Sierra Leone, Liberia. Those countries, most of them, the people that were there were American Aborigines, because they were taken from the Americas and brought there to create that colony from the colonization society. You see what I'm saying? People have to realize that a lot of so-called black people in England right now, they are American Aborigines, because they took a lot of our people from here for the first set of slavery, the Barbary slave trade that was trading pale people, so-called white people. Then they started trading the American Indians, taking us all over the world. So our people were placed all over the world, family, as slaves, okay, as tokens, because we looked different. We had different resources. Okay?
With the slaves. But now, beloveds, it's just his
all
story.
of that, is just his story. It's over. We're here now.
What comes next.
Here to change what comes next.
There are certain things that are out of our control.
There are certain things that are out of our control because they must happen. You see, the Babylon system must fall, but so many of us are mentally connected to it.
But what you can start doing is claiming your inheritance. Don't wait for, as I said in a previous video, don't wait for anyone to be giving you reparations. But get yourself
a piece of land.
Even an acre.
Even an acre.
Here we have eighths, even.
Here we have eighths.
And isn't that what I've been telling everybody? Stop crowding up these cities. Get yourself an acre of land. I agree with her. And there are rituals you could do on the land as the original, I wouldn't say owners, because land wasn't meant to be owned. Custodians. Okay. That was just put, it was just put, for us to be the guardians of that land. As the natural custodian of the land, we have certain things we could evoke on that land. So let's get away from all these cities. And I don't care if it's an acre, like she said, get an acre. We got to start doing all rituals. And I agree with that.
Move out of the cities.
Beloved.
But get yourself
a piece of land.
And once you own a piece of land in a certain nation, then you have like a voice. You can actually speak to the land and affect the destiny of the land and the nation. It makes you a custodian. And this is something we've never been told. And this is why Babylon has gone and tried to buy land all over the world. It was also that they could stand
and have an authority to speak in the land because they had ownership of the land.
That's why the
private property thing came in.
So
Once you have the land, beloveds, identify a tree or a plant or something,
and
and start speaking, and create
a
shrine around that for your ancestors from that land, and ask them to reveal themselves and to reveal the truth to you.
And family, that's why I speak with so much conviction. When my ancestors show up to me, family, I'm telling you, I've seen them in the flesh. They touch me in visions, family. Like it's so real. You know, like I one time, okay? Let me just give y'all real quick. One time, it is just so many different stories, okay? My ancestors gave me Flying Eagle as a title. I'm gonna give you the story real quick. So the Kalinago, embraces the entire, Caribbean, okay? Because the Caribs came from South America, from the Onoco River, okay? But our people mixed in the Americas. We were just mixing with each other with respect, okay? So I did an invocation, and I did a little spiritual ceremony to acknowledge my ancestors, to ask them if I could embody the name of, the Kalinago, and they gave me permission to do that. Okay, but that wasn't just enough. One night I was in rest. I was fasting, because people don't know. That's why I tell people I don't go to sleep. Sleep is for the dead. I fast. When you go lay down, that's when you're fasting. It means that you're not eating. The body is not taking in any physical food. You are taking in spiritual food. So that's your fast. That's when you actually go to what you call sleep. I don't sleep. Once again, sleep is for the dead. All right. But that's a whole nother story. That's why they tell people, oh, well, you sleep and then you wake. Well, guess what? When you go to a funeral, you go to a wake, right? So you see what I'm saying? It's just everything is a curse. And then they put the ashes of the dead. When somebody died and they burn them, all right, they put their ashes in what? An urn. So you go to sleep, you wake, and then you go earn a living. So you're nothing but the living dead. So that's why I'm very mindful with my words. I tell people I'm a wordsmith because I know the word. I'm a God, so I spoke the word and gave life. We all did as a collective. We spoke, and everything around us became. It wasn't no man in the sky. It wasn't no woman in the sky. Okay, God is not a woman or a man. Okay? What the true essence of what the Great Spirit is intelligence. And we all, within that intelligence, okay, we found everything within us to create ourselves. It's like asking the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, actually, it's both. There's no answer for that. It's the same thing with us. We created the universe. It wasn't one man and nobody gave me life. I birthed myself. I created myself. Now, I know that might sound crazy to y'all. I wasn't sure if you guys are ready for this, but I created myself. I had a contract with my parents so that I would come through them to have my own experience. And I chose what attributes I wanted from my mom. I chose what attributes I wanted from my dad. You dig what I'm saying? So when you truly know the truth, you could speak a certain way. You could walk a certain way. Your energy is different. So going back to the name, okay? So in my state of rest, in my fast, all of a sudden I felt myself walking. And then I heard, no, that was in my apartment, okay? I heard an eagle, a young eagle, like screaming, okay? I mean, just screaming. And then when I walked into the kitchen, there was a bird cage on my refrigerator, all right? And there was an eaglet in there. The eaglet had no feathers, nothing, all right? But it was screaming, and I was scared. So I got scared, and I'm panicking what to do. Don't know what to do. I had never seen an eagle in real life, in real life, period. Okay, but I saw it in the vision. So I felt a tap on my shoulder. Family, it was so real. It gave me goosebumps. I mean, I got scared. Something touched me on my shoulder. When I turned and I look around, it was an ancestor with feathers. Okay, carbonated based, looking just like me. It was like I was seeing my reflection with the feathers and the crown and everything, you know. So he said, Chief, don't be afraid. Okay, he said, don't be afraid. The eagle wants you to feed it. But I'm like, hold up. There's no, and I'm talking to him. I'm having a real conversation. I said, there's no food. What am I going to feed the eagle? Then he pointed to the corner, and I saw a box that was wrapped like a gift, like a Christmas gift. Okay. And I'm not saying, well, I don't have to get into the semantics of Christmas. We know that's not our culture. But anyway, the point is, it was wrapped like a gift box. When I opened it, okay, all of a sudden, the food in the box, it was so refined, everything fell on the floor, and the eagle started screaming and screaming and screaming. So I tried to pick up the food, but it just, it just kept, seeping through my fingers. So the ancestor touched me again. He said, Chief, I told you, don't be afraid. The eagle just wants you to feed it. But I was like, but there's no food. Look what happened. And I'm panicking, family. All right. So he pointed in another corner. And then I saw a lot of worms. Okay. I wasn't afraid of the worms. I went and I took a handful of the worms and I started to feed the eagle. All of a sudden, the eagle in the cage started to open up its wings, grow. The feathers start to grow and grow. And as the feathers, they are growing, the eagle is getting bigger the more I feed it. And I'm looking at my ancestor, and my ancestor is smiling, and I'm happy. And the eagle got so huge, it popped open the cage and it flew away. You see what I'm saying? So in that same vision, I'm asking my ancestor, okay, should that be my name? Because I was already Chief Kalanago, okay? But something was missing in my spirit, all right? So the eagle came about. So now it was Chief Kalanago Eagle, all right? But that wasn't enough. So when I got up from the fast, I went to use the bathroom, and I was sweating. I was nervous, but at the same time, I was so honored that my ancestor showed up in the flesh. You feel me? So I went back into meditation, into a meditative state, and I went back to fast. Okay. And then guess what? Another ancestor showed up because the eagle just wasn't enough. And they gave me the interpretation of the dream, like spoke it to me what the vision meant. It meant that, you know what? My spirit, I have the spirit of an eagle. All right. And I'm getting ready to soar. All right. But when an eagle soars, it flies above the storm. And I was going through a certain period in my life. And they told me I have the spirit of the eagle. So they confirmed and said, nah, you are the flying eagle. And when I confirmed that, that's how my entire, title became Chief Kalanago Flying Eagle. You see what I'm saying? So our ancestors are real. I remember another time I was having another vision, and I got up and I walked into my kitchen and I sat on a chair, and my ancestor showed me a lot of things I was telling people years ago. I hadn't read in books. I was telling them exactly what happened, who came here, who they look like. I was telling people that. People thought I was crazy because my ancestors came to me and showed me in a vision literally everything that happened on this American continent. And I sat on the chair and cried like a baby. I'm talking about literally when I got up from that vision or that fast. I mean, I was literally crying. So family, I'm just saying all that to say is this: our ancestors are alive and well. And if you give them the respect, honor your mother and father so that your days will be longer. They will show up. You see what I'm saying? Not just in your head, but they will show you what they look like. And trust me, I have seen them. They came back and brought themselves in the flesh and tapped me on my shoulder. And that's facts. On everything that I own, my ancestors showed up to me in the flesh. You see what I'm saying? So it's real. It's real, family. It's real. And I wasn't even scared when he tapped my shoulder. I wasn't scared. So I just wanted to share that little story with y'all. All right? Let us continue with the video.
if there's no way you can own land, and or if you already have land, even if it's not yours, your mama's land, someone where it's a your family name, beloveds, already create some kind of shrine or altar for your ancestors, and start to invoke their spirit and their presence, beloveds.
Because
vengeance is mine,
says the spirit
of the ancestors.
But we need a doorway, we need a gateway, we need a way to come through. Because only this physical body gives you license here on Mama Earth. I've said too much without saying enough, beloveds. But may those who have ears hear. And if you'd like me to get deeper into the intricacies of it, let me know. But if you even start looking, well, I hate saying Googling, but if you start searching and looking at Native American photos, old Native American photos, you'll be shocked that they look like I and I, beloveds. Some are even darker than I am. It's all a lie. And for us to try and find answers in this lie is like a mental illness, beloveds. It's a total mental confusion. Nothing we've been told has been true. But if you do the work, you have the power within you to seek the truth from the other realm, which is more real than this realm, the spiritual realm. Because all these stories, beloveds, are like spells. It's like they put a spell on the whole world, and they have to keep that spell going. But if you feel strongly that you're not going anywhere, you're going to stay in the divided states and fight it out, then your bloodline may actually originate from there. But be wise about how you do it. Get off grid, although that's becoming harder now. Be wise, beloveds. Get out of the Babylon system as much as possible. And then tap into your spiritual side.
And here's another thing, family. A lot of times you see education and knowledge is the key. Not education, but knowledge. Okay? When we talk about getting out of Babylon, if they're not, our ancestors were not talking about getting out the land. You see, a lot of American Aboriginals got tricked into going to Africa because they were afraid, they were scared. But the Babylonian system is not a physical system. The Babylonian system is a mental and a spiritual system. Okay, it's a system that was created on paper. It was first created in the mental realm, then it was spoken, then it was written. Okay, for us to get out of the Babylonian system, family, it is very, very easy. It's not hard. That's why the pen is mightier than the sword. Okay? The pen is mightier than the sword. And I'm going to leave it as that. By the stroke of a pen, you could get out of Babylon. You see what I'm saying? So when you know the skill, and you have the skill, and you have the knowledge, and you know how to apply the knowledge, you speak it first. First, it has to be internal. When you speak it, well, first you have to process it in your subconscious mind. Plant that seed. Okay? Plant that seed. You did. And then once you have planted the seed, you start speaking it. Once you start speaking it, then it will become flesh. Then you put it in writing. And that's how you get out of Babylon, family. That's it. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not as complicated as people make it seem. But first, we have to identify that the United States, for one, is not the Americas. Secondly, the United States is a corporation. It is not a nation. It's not a country. We have to start giving that life. We are the ones that's giving it life. That's why they have to do what? They have to make sure that the so-called black votes are so important. Why? Because they know the so-called people that are fighting to vote, they are the original American Aboriginals. And they know with our energy, we are giving that system the power to do what they are doing. You see, y'all don't realize that that's a spell. Voting is a spell. So you have to go what? You have to go vote, poll. What do you think a poll is? Huh? They have the voting polls. What does a battery have? A battery has a pole and it has to be charged. So they build you up with all this excitement. They are charging you so you could go to the poles, all right, and then give life, because that's what a charged battery do. You see, so yeah, again, I'm a wordsmith. You see, y'all have to break down these things. The power of life and death is in the tongue. And if you don't know how to speak in tongues, then you got problems. You see, speaking in tongues is not just, oh, halamashunda dala boom dala blah blah blah. No. Speaking in tongues is being able to comprehend and breaking down the spell and creating your own spell. Man, I think I've said enough.
Tap into your spiritual team so that you can survive the perilous times to come, because Babylon is falling. And Babylon made their home in the divided states. You can even see the Babylonians themselves. Babylon is falling. That's why they're scattering.
Well, guess what? It's people who look like us that are the Babylonians. You see, and I'm certainly sure she will get to that in her growth. She will get to that point. But the Babylonians, the original ones, they look like us. The original Romans, they look like us. You feel me? It was people who look like us that came here and inflicted what we are dealing with on us. Okay? We almost done here, fam. We almost done here. Give me a second.
And trying to build other strongholds in China. But this was a global melanated solar planet, which means we were everywhere. So let's not try and make them make us seem like we were all from Africa. Zion, Eden. Eden was the first.
Nah, nope. Again, let us not. You see, there we go. Eden was something made up. Wherever you go, there was Eden. You see, because if every continent, all right, if every continent had people, then you cannot say Eden was the first. Where was Eden at? Because America was the first land that came up from the divulge. So America is the old world. You see what I'm saying? So whenever people speak, I have to listen. I have to listen and debunk certain things. All right. But anyway, you got the gist of what she said and what she was coming with. And I just wanted to acknowledge her for finally stepping up and speaking the truth. All right. What I'm gonna do at this time, I did put my Rumble, okay, because YouTube is, when you start speaking certain truths, YouTube, even sometimes Facebook for the most part, they always censor things and block you and put you on punishment, all because again they in control of their platforms. So I created a Rumble. A Rumble, it gives you more, more of a platform to express yourself, your First Amendment, all right, of the, so with freedom of speech. So guys, I just put my Rumble in there. Go ahead and create a Rumble, create your own little platform, start spreading the word, but definitely go subscribe to my my Rumble. It's called rumble.com/user /the takeover. All right, so go ahead and subscribe, and let's continue to put this information out there. All right, and family, that's what this is about. Once again, let me reiterate. All right, I'm not here to say we hate Africans. No, I'm not even here to say I hate the pale man, because I know the truth. You see, when you know the truth, it will set you free, and I'm free. I'm free. That's why I don't hate anybody, because I know what happened. I know exactly how it happened. Yes, I read a lot of books and did a lot of studying to confirm everything, but a lot of that stuff came to me in vision. That's why I could speak with such passion, and that's why I could speak with such conviction, because it was more than just me going to read books. And people talk about it. I don't know about what they saw or what they seen, but I know mine came to me. Mine came to me. My ancestors came to me in the flesh, person to person, el mano, and interacted with me and opened up my eyes to a lot of things. And even up to this present, they still talk to me. So do not forsake your ancestors. They are real. That's why I tell people, even if you don't know and you cannot pinpoint exactly what clan or tribe you come from, take your time and go within. Don't frustrate yourself. They will show up. I promise you, they will show up. But you have to let go of the hate, family. You have to let go of the hate. Hate is a very, how would I put it? It's a very toxic emotion. I love, but it doesn't mean I won't smack you because I love you. You see what I'm saying? The point I'm making is if you intentionally hurt me, yes, I love you, but I'm going to make sure you deal with that karma. You see what I'm saying? That is still love because I'm allowing you to deal with the karma because I love you. You feel me? We don't have to hate. We don't have to hate. So when you have risen into your, what I call your Christ consciousness, okay, then you will be living in truth. And no matter what anybody say or do, it will not affect you because you know it's just an illusion. I don't live the illusions. I partake in the illusion, but I don't live the illusion. You see what I'm saying? I don't live the illusion. I don't do that. Okay? So I just wanted to come share that with y'all. And once again, much respect. I appreciate, the doctor for, just for at least coming out and speaking the truth. Because like I said, I had seen a few of her videos and I just wasn't vibing with that at all. You feel me? I wasn't vibing with that at all because I know she was, whether it was intentional or not, she was spreading the propaganda of the colonization society that taking us out from our motherland and putting us in Africa. Africa is for Africans. You see what I'm saying? So we just got to keep it real. And that's what this is about. So hopefully we all could step up as just people of the earth. And I'm talking about righteous people, all alike, every complexion, okay? Just righteous people, you know what I'm saying, standing up to fight against tyranny. That's what I stand for. I don't hate nobody. But at the same time, I'm going to speak the truth. You see what I'm saying? And when I speak the truth, it's not to put anybody down. No. The truth doesn't need any type of, how would I put it? It doesn't need any type of, well, let's just put it that way. We cannot censorship. There's the word. Okay? Truth should not be censored. Period. All right? So I want to thank you guys for being on this call. You guys have an amazing continuation. You feel me? I doubt I'll do another video for the day. So this is definitely, that was what it is today because I have a few things to do. I got a few Zoom meetings I got to get into because like I told y'all, I'm working on a few things for us. Okay, for us. All right, I'm working on some things. It's going to be amazing. You guys are going to love it. I'm always working, man. You know what I mean? Putting things together for us because we need certain systems that needs to be in place to make certain moves. So I'm working on a few things. When the time is right, I will bring that to everybody. But for now, make sure you guys go subscribe to my Rumble, create your own Rumble. Let's start putting this information. Let's start putting the truth out here. And all you guys that are on the platform on my Facebook, man, thank you. You know what I mean? Everybody, I'm getting like friend requests from all over the world. You know what I'm saying? And that's good because they know that finally that's something, somebody's putting something out there that's resonating to their spirit, to their soul. You feel me? So I want to thank you guys in advance, and I do not take your time for granted. I do appreciate your energy. So you guys have a beautiful one. Take care of yourselves. Love each other. Respect each other. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But if anyone, sit around and conspire against you to bring you harm, then I can't tell you what to do. I don't forgive. I allow the universe. I call unto my ancestors and make sure, okay, that they face what they are facing 10 times fold. You have to pay that karma. And that's just how I flex. I don't forgive if you try to hurt me intentionally. That's not how I'm built. That's not how the universe is made. That's not how it's made. That's what we were taught. And that's religion. You did. All right. So, I mean, I've shown you guys this before, but I'm going to show you guys real quick. Once again, I like to show it. Okay. Just so y'all know. because it has to sink in. I got to get out of here, but I'm going to give it to you one more time. And I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay? Let me put it in here for you guys. Right here. Okay? Share my screen real quick, because repetition is the key. Repetition is the key. All right? It is the key. Here we go. And it's not my words. It's their own words. They are telling you the codes. You see, everything is there. We live in a voluntary system. And you choose to partake in the system because you think you have to. You don't have to. Okay? So, Title 28, Section 3002. Let us go to subsection 15 real quick. Okay? Right here. What does it say? The United States means what? The United States is a corporation. Okay? So, it's there. All right? And I'm not the one who made that up. I'm telling you what they are telling you, what their system is. Their system is a corporation. You feel me? So those are not just my words. They are telling you their truth, all right, of what it is. So let me stop sharing that. And I'm going to show you one more thing before I go, okay, which I've shown you before, but we have to always get these things and keep putting it in perspective, all right? Here we go. Etymology of indigenous. We have to be mindful with that as well. Words have power, okay? So when you speak and you call yourself indigenous, make sure you always add original to that, because anyone can be indigenous, because all indigenous mean, the original meaning of the word is born or originating, okay? So people who call themselves natives, they are indigenous because why? They were born. In today's day and age, the meaning or the definition of the word native just means to be born. Just to be born. So anybody is native. Once you're born within the confines of the Americas, then you are native. Just to be born. However, it doesn't mean that you are originating. You see what I'm saying? Know the difference. So when you speak of yourself, if you are an original American, then make sure you add original indigenous. Or you could just say American, period, point blank, because we are the only ones lawfully, okay? Lawfully, not just by law, but I'm talking about universal law. We are the only ones that could call ourselves American without the hyphen. Everybody else have to have a hyphen. Okay, I thought I was sharing my screen here. All right. So, okay, yeah. I think here we go. I thought I was sharing the screen. Okay. So, indigenous. Okay. So, I just wanted to kind of reiterate that because I always have to keep, it has to be redundant so it can stick in your head. And that's why when the UN, they did the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, literally everybody could embody that. That's why it cannot be lawfully bind. It cannot be legally binding, because anybody could be indigenous as long as you're born. Okay, but as you could see, it has two meanings: born or originating. We are original. We are the originating indigenous and born. However, some people are just born; they are not originating, and that's the difference. All right, guys. So I hope that made sense. And I just want to kind of leave that with you before I get out of here. Okay, so guys, I gotta go. My alarm is going off. I gotta get on a Zoom and get some things done. So you guys take care. I love y'all. Like I said, continue to be good to each other, respect each other, and respect other people too as well. All right, this is not about disrespecting people. This is about standing up within our truth, because it is the truth. All right. However, if disrespect comes, then it has to be met with disrespect. Period. All right. So y'all take care, and we'll talk soon.